Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And this video, I'm obviously in the other part of the studio where I do a lot of the music and all that stuff. So I'm working on the set, so I'll be back to doing those videos probably in the next few days after I get that put back together. So anyway, there's a few things I want to talk about in this video. Specifically, I want to talk about the Westside Legends buyback program. And an event that I attended this past weekend on Daniels Ave, homelessness in the city and how we're addressing it, and violence in the city, and shootings in the city, which has become unbelievably out of control and really scary at times. And then, of course, the supporting businesses and promoting businesses and working together as a business community. So I want to start with the Westside Legends buyback program. So this past weekend, I attended their first open house for a property on Daniels Ave, which is a duplex. It was built as a duplex, first floor, second floor, and the Westside Legends buyback program is a group of residents of the West Side, not outside, big money conglomerates, but residents of the West Side that got together and purchased this property and redid it. And from top to bottom, new kitchens, new floors, new everything. I mean, beautiful interior, exterior, roof, deck, porches, the whole thing. And I mean, they did a beautiful job. There's some photos I had on the page, and I'll insert some on this. But they just did a beautiful job with it. And the premise is these are up for sale as at very affordable prices. I think they were around the 140 to 160 range, somewhere in there. And the idea is to make these affordable for existing people in the West Side to be able to purchase them, and that's that. And it's they've taken the initiative to fix the problem on their own. They already purchased another property next door that they're doing the same thing. They're looking at other properties. They're in the process of establishing an HOA, a homeowners association, which many of you know, homeowners associations can be an incredibly beneficial thing for a neighborhood. And it's a group of amazing people. I mean, I met some incredible people down there. Tony and Marvin and Sheila and Dwayne and Sparky and some of these people I've known for years. I used to live on Bradford Street. And so, I mean, I knew some people growing up, went to school with, that are involved with this group. And it's so inspiring what they're doing, because they're not waiting for government. If you wait for government, all you're going to get is talking points before an election. That's just how government works, and it works incredibly slow. They have taken the initiative and taken that ball and ran with it. I mean, they are going full steam ahead. I 100% support them. I think it's amazing what they're doing, and there's a lot of organizations, Greylock Credit Union, Milltown, there's a bunch, and I'll put those on the screen also. But there's a lot of support they have with this, and it's really exciting. At the open house, I wish there were more representatives from the city there, but our at-large city councilor, Karen Kalinowski, was present. And that was great to see her. I see Karen at everything I ask her to go out for with me, she's always there. But anyway, it was a great event, and it was exciting, and you could feel the energy. I mean, everybody was just thrilled to have this first open house and to see this program come to fruition and move forward, and then already working on a second property. So that's awesome. I mean, it really is. And you can head down Daniels Ave. I think it's 140 something in that range. I wish I wrote the address down. But anyways, it's right on Daniels on the 100 block. I think it's 140 to 150, somewhere in there for the address. So the other thing I want to talk about briefly is homelessness. That we've been talking about that for quite a bit. I have been out. I went out one night with Karen Kalinowski walking around. I've been out talking to people. Most of them, unfortunately, do not want to speak on camera. The people at Springside Park do not want to be interviewed or speak on camera. They just don't. They don't want the attention brought to that park and be kicked out right now, I guess, is where that stands. But I have talked to a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people about the condition of the St. Joe's shelter and how that's being run. And it doesn't sound good. I don't think we are not addressing this appropriately. And I know the mayor was on a little PR tour last week, discussing on a couple radio shows all these wonderful things we're doing. Mainly what I'm hearing is the sheriff's department is out there in full force through their program. I think it's the Second Chance program, and they're talking to people, asking them what assistance they need, what help they need. So that ball is rolling. But I think it's going to take a huge initiative from the community. I've had over 45 of you now that said I'm interested in volunteering for your program or whatever you're putting together. I need to hammer out the specifics on that. That's not going to be one I can just throw together quickly. I need to make sure we're doing this right. The final steps I need to take would be talking to the police department, and then, City Hall, if they're willing to speak to me. I don't know if they are or not. But we're going to keep that moving forward. I'll be back out talking to more of them. I also will be going up to North Street sometime this week. We've got some really nice days weather-wise coming, and I just want to talk to store owners, employees, people on the street on their views on North Street and how they feel about the changes of North Street and what's going on, and just try to get an honest input from everyone on the street, how they feel about it. I know going into an election year, you're going to hear all these talking points, and you might see some Band-Aids being thrown out there. We're going to make changes to North Street, or all of a sudden, we're going to fix the homeless problem, which they're just talking points and quick Band-Aids, and nothing gets done. It's going to take the community to step up. If you're waiting for government to do anything, you're going to wait your whole life. That's not how government works. It just doesn't. It's talking points most of the time. That's unfortunate, but it's going to take the community stepping up. It's just like the voter apathy. The last council elections, how important they were. But, almost 80% of our registered voters didn't vote in that election. And it's sad when you see that. This year we have a mayoral election coming up, and rumor is, and maybe I was wrong, but rumor is that Mayor Tyre is going to run for re-election for a third term. And if elected, she would pass Mayor Fallon from the 1940s as the city's longest serving mayor in the history of Pittsfield. A third term on 4-year terms is not likely, but you have to have a lot of candidates come forward to change that. So we'll be talking about that as we get closer to it. Violence in the city. As you know, as many of you know, the gun violence has gotten out of control, and it really has gotten out of control. It's shooting after shooting after shooting, and it's getting really scary. And I believe we're somewhere now around the mid-20s for shootings this year. And something has to be done. And we don't have this administration is not very publicly transparent. I don't know why. They're just not. There's select interviews they do with, it seems like, again, they're just talking points on certain radio platforms or platforms where they're going to be softball questions thrown at them. And that's what you get. We've heard it multiple times. So, but the violence that's something that's really scary. And we need a community forum, and not just some controlled Zoom forum. We need a community forum, a place where the public can go and speak and address their concerns. And how can the public be part of the solution? That's where we're missing out. Talking points are great, but if nothing gets done and there's no community involvement, then how do you solve the problem? Do we really have crime watch areas? Do we really have all that? Is this administration, if I'm wrong, is this administration out there promoting public engagement, how you can assist with, obviously not getting involved and keeping yourself safe, but how you can be part of the solution? We're not hearing any of that. But, you're going to hear a lot of this coming into an election year. You're going to hear a lot of it. And again, don't be fooled by quick Band-Aids, and don't listen to just talking points. We need to get things done. And just like the Westside Legends group has stepped up and taking matters into their own hands rather than waiting for government. A lot of that has to be done with other things. What happened to the police advisory board? What happened to the discussion of body cameras? I saw where Great Barrington just got them. I think we need to continue that conversation. We don't just need to talk about law enforcement when something goes wrong. We need to talk about law enforcement when something goes good. I mean, I support our police. And, I get that everything's not perfect, but changes that we need to see in law enforcement need to be done from a legislative point of view. Where's our state reps? Where's our state senator? Well, he quit. But where are these people? We need to hear from them. What are they fighting for? What bills are they proposing? What things are on the table? Are there crime initiatives to curb crime? I mean, you don't go into a Walmart and scream at the employees over the prices, right? Well, our police, you have to support our police. Public safety is everything. But there has to be community input and a forum for that. And I never understood the police advisory board in the beginning, how it was structured. And I did videos on that. I went back and watched them, and I saw where I was put down for those too, but I felt like that was set up to fail. That never had a chance getting off the ground. So that whole conversation needs to continue. It really does. And that's going to take leadership. That's going to take an administration to push that. What we need a mayor that will push for a city manager. Basically someone to get elected mayor that is willing to pretty much end their own job. You still have a mayor that sits on the council, but it's more like a part-time gig that would pay $30,000 to $40,000 a year, not this $105,000, $110,000 a year position, and we don't hear anything. We need a city manager. You want to see a successful community, you get a city manager, and they're based on qualifications, resume, degrees, what they specialize in, and they're not elected, and they're held accountable. City manager is the solution. It worked for Worcester, it works for cities all over the country and communities all over the country. Many small towns do town managers, and many big cities do city managers. Worcester's a prime example of how successful a program like that is and why that style of government works better. It ends the cronyism, it ends all that. I'm 100% for city manager. So that is it for now, everyone. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be safe out there, support community, get involved. Look at a group like the West Side Legends and be inspired by that. And we can apply that type of community towards everything. Don't wait for government to fix things. They're not going to. Get involved. So as far as my volunteer groups and all that, I'll be discussing that further, and we'll be on that. There's a lot of events coming up that I'm going to promote, important ones in the community. So I'll be back in the regular set in the next couple days, and that's it. So that is it for now. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll catch you all in the next day or two.